Hey, this is Chris Johnson. I am currently avoiding going to the gym. I gotta go for a run today. 5K and fucking 10K season is starting to really fucking heat up, and I gotta get my ass to the fucking gym. I love working out, but like I'm just lazy about getting my ass up to fucking do it. I wish I could bring the gym here. I would run outside, but it's a cold, shitty, fucking disgusting mess today, and I'm so fucking pissed. I'm not fucking going out in that shit. Fuck it. I had my last therapy appointment recently. I did a podcast about my therapist retiring and leaving me without a net. And I gotta be honest with you, that's fucking terrifying. And I think part of my fear is this. When my wife left, over 3 years ago now, there's things that you gotta do. There's things that you gotta, accomplish. There's things that you have to do. I wanted to get better. I wanted to fucking take care of my anxiety. I wanted to get divorced, have the divorce get finalized. I wanted to get my name off the house that I fucking bought with her. I wanted to make sure my name was off the insurance. I wanted to get myself out of debt. I'm still working on that, but I'm in a good spot now financially where it's not like a concern and I'm not digging myself any deeper. So I'm good there. And then my cousin sold his house, so I had to get an apartment. That apartment was small and shitty. And then I thought man, I'd really fucking love it. And if I can get into a situation where I can move into a bigger apartment, like a 2-bedroom like I had there. And I've done all those things. I've accomplished all those things. These were necessary things that had to get done because they were stressing me the fuck out. They were being hell over my head. But now that none of that exists, I almost don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You ever had that fucking feeling? I'm fucking terrified. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. And I was trying to tell my therapist this. In the last appointment, I'm I gotta get all this shit out. We got a fucking hour, and let's stretch it into 6. Cause I got some fucking issues here, goddammit. What do I do? My therapist said to me, and I never thought about it like this, she's are you just not used to things not being terrible? And I think that's it. I hated growing up. I hated my childhood. I hated my parents growing up. It was an awful environment, and I was miserable all the fucking time. Then I was miserable with my wife, and I was fucking miserable after the fucking divorce. Now I'm at a point where I'm not miserable, and I don't know what it's like to not be miserable. I know that sounds super fucked up, but I don't know what to do. I'm not miserable. And not to say that I was always fucking miserable. And I had fun. I had some laughs. And if we knew each other in the past, you probably thought hey, he's a pretty fucking boisterous guy. And that's true. I mean, that's me. But there was just always an underlying layer of shit. And I still got to deal with my anxiety and my depression and stuff like that. But there's nothing left that I have to fucking deal with. It's all gone. And I almost don't know what it's like to fucking be happy. Or just completely happy. You know what I mean? I'm afraid of it. I'm so afraid of things being good. My therapist also asked me this. She was do you think you just don't deserve it? And I've never thought about it that way before. And I probably don't. I've never felt like I was good enough in my life. I never felt like I was good enough growing up with my parents. I mean, if I got a fucking 88 on a fucking spelling test, it wasn't good enough. Why the fuck isn't it a 90? You know what I mean? And if you get 100, it's you got to get 100 next time. And I just, oh my God, I just fucking hated that. And I never felt like I was good enough for my wife because she was always looking for the next big thing. Not only fucking dudes to leave me for, but instead of just living in the now, it's well, what are we going to do next? We got to do this. We got to do this. And it was always hey man, but I'm right here, we could just kind of be. And then I went out with somebody who I wasn't good enough for. And I don't have anybody in my life now, but I don't really know how. I gotta be honest with you, I'm like a dog chasing cars with relationships. Sometimes I think it might be a good idea. Most of the time I think I wouldn't be able to handle it. And I wouldn't know what to do with it if I caught it. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't even know what my complaint is. I don't want to be one of those guys that's unhappy being happy. And I'm not unhappy. I'm just afraid of it. I'm just afraid of being happy, I guess. I've been just used to things being so bad for so long that I don't know what it's like for things to be good. And I feel like that in this apartment too, the new apartment. Things don't suck here and I don't know how to deal with it. There was always just something that sucked at the old place. Somebody told me to go fuck myself or, the psychotics fighting downstairs. And I don't know what it's like to not have any of that. You kind of get used to dealing with shit. My dad sucked and you come up with all these defense mechanisms to deal with your dad sucking. And you just learn to live like that. And you live like that for so long that, that's all you know. And you don't know anything else. I think I'll be okay with no therapist. She did give me a list of other therapists. And then she was telling me the people on the list. She's look, these two are my favorites. This person's really direct. You know what that means? That person's a fucker. That person's a motherfucker. I don't need some asshole who's going to say hey, you're a dick. If I want to be paid to be insulted, I'll just hire a fucking hooker to do that. They'll do anything for money. They don't give a shit. Find some asshole on Craigslist to insult you for money. I didn't fucking go to a fucking therapist that have that asshole tell me I suck. Look, I'll try to get better, but don't tell me I suck. Let me figure it out. It's a very first world problem to have too, and I almost feel bad like feeling it. But you know what I've learned? Like, you can't control your feelings. You can't control how you feel about things. Like, you feel about them how you feel about them. I know that there are a lot of people in the world that got a lot bigger fucking problems than I have, but that doesn't mean I shouldn't be dealing with my fucking problems. You know what I mean? So I don't know what this means. I don't know if post-therapy Chris Johnson is better off or worse off. Will post-therapy Chris Johnson be more fucked up? That's debatable. One thing is for sure, post-therapy Chris Johnson is still doing dumb shit and getting himself into idiotic situations that he really can't get himself out of, and he's embarrassing himself on a fucking almost, I lost track of my thought as I was giving that, but I guess what I'm saying is I'm still doing dumb things. I'm also still doing the podcast. Every Sunday and Wednesdays, you're going to get you new episodes there. I am on Twitter at Johnson Hates You. I'm on Facebook too, just under my name, Chris Johnson. You can find the podcast in the timeline there. I'm on Instagram at Maybe 5 Minutes. You can get every episode on Podbean, the website or the app there. Also, Apple Podcast and Google Play.